Welcome to Fresh Start with Jason Cline.
Welcome back to the Fresh Start podcast with attorney Jason Cline, founder of the law offices of Jason Cline in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Jason helps individuals and families across New Mexico find clarity and confidence through Chapter 7 and Chapter 13 bankruptcy solutions. I'm Evan Mack, and today we're talking about what happens when debt collectors wage garnishments and lawsuits start closing in on how bankruptcy can make that all stop. Jason, my brother, welcome back.
Thank you, Evan. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Jason, when someone gets those constant calls or threats from collectors, what does that usually look like? How long do people usually live with that stress before reaching out for some help for somebody like you?
Well, that's a great question. And unfortunately, most people live with it for far too long. And what it usually looks like is just nonstop phone calls, the letters they're piling up, voicemails that really feel threatening. And I mean, there's just a constant feeling that something bad is going to happen. I mean, people stop answering their phones, they get nervous, they start checking the mail. It just becomes a daily source of stress. And a lot of people just try to tough it out for months or even years before reaching out, hoping it'll slow down or go away on its own. But by the time they call me, they're usually exhausted and overwhelmed. And not because they can't handle responsibility, but because the pressure has become constant.
So, Jason, when someone files for bankruptcy, what immediately happens to those collection calls in those pending lawsuits?
That's where the stress relief comes in, because the moment that the case is filed, everything stops. The calls, the letters, the lawsuits and threats, all of it. Creditors are legally required to stop collecting from you once they receive notice of the bankruptcy. So for most clients, that silence is one of the first things they notice. So the phones will stop ringing, the mailbox calms down, and that constant sense of panic starts to just lift almost immediately.
So, can you explain what the automatic stay is and why it's such a powerful protection for those people?
The automatic stay is actually the single most powerful tool in bankruptcy. It's a federal court order that goes into effect the second that your case is filed. It tells creditors that they must stop all collection actions right away. What makes it so powerful is that it doesn't require a separate hearing or a motion. It's automatic. Once the case is filed, creditors no longer have the right to pursue you for collection, and violating that stay can come with serious consequences for them.
What types of collection activity does that stay cover? Does it stop the garnishments, repossessions, court hearings as well?
Oh, yes, it stops everything. The automatic stay stops wage garnishments, bank levies, repossessions, foreclosures, collections lawsuits, even court hearings related to the debt collections. In many cases, if a garnishment is already in place, it'll stop with the next paycheck after filing. It puts everything on pause and gives people the breathing room they've been missing.
How quickly does that protection take effect once the bankruptcy is filed?
It's immediate, and there's no waiting period. The protection starts the second the case is filed with the court. That's why timing can be so important. Filing even a day earlier can mean stopping a garnishment or preventing a repossession that would have otherwise moved forward.
What happens if a creditor ignores the bankruptcy notice and keeps calling or maybe even trying to collect, and let's say things just keep going the way they were before?
That's a great question. I mean, if a creditor ignores the notice and continues to collect, it's a violation of the automatic stay. And in those situations, the court can impose penalties, including requiring the creditor to pay damages or attorney fees. I mean, most creditors are going to take it very seriously once they're notified, and the calls will stop quickly. And if they don't, we'll address it right away and we'll sue them.
A lot of people worry about being sued before they can get their case filed. What's the difference between being served with a lawsuit and being actually garnished? How does bankruptcy change all of those things?
Well, so being served with a lawsuit means a creditor is asking the court for permission to collect. So they're trying to get a court order. And they need that because a garnishment means they've already gotten that court order, the permission from the court, and are actively taking the money from your paycheck or your bank account. Now, bankruptcy is going to stop both. Even if the lawsuit is already pending, the filing of the bankruptcy will halt it. If a garnishment has started, filing stops future garnishments. Although in most cases, we're not going to be able to get the money back that's already been garnished. But that's really why it's so important to not panic when the lawsuit shows up because there are still options, but you need to contact an experienced bankruptcy attorney.
Oh, quick sidebar though, Jason. Is there any scenario where you could ever get that garnishment back ever, or is it's usually a wash?
So there are scenarios where you can get the garnishment back. If you pay an individual creditor more than $600 in the 90 days prior to filing the bankruptcy case, it's
Mm,
actually considered a preferential payment. So the trustee in bankruptcy has the right to claw it back. But if
okay.
that's not going to be enough for the trustee to really be able to distribute it out to the other creditors, that right can get transferred over to you to be able to claw that money back and get that money. So there are certain circumstances. I don't like to give a lot of false hope that it's going to happen every time, but
Right.
there are times that you can get the money back.
Wow. So, are there any other kind of debts or collectors that bankruptcy doesn't stop, like child support or maybe certain taxes?
So, yes, bankruptcy doesn't stop the collection of child support or alimony obligations. Those will keep going. Tax debts have certain rules. The taxes owed in the previous 3 years are non dischargeable in bankruptcy. But if you did file on time, then if it's over 3 years old, then we can stop collection from taxes. There's also some rules on timing with audits and things like that that go into taxes. So it's a little complicated and you need to contact an attorney on that. But there are dischargeable taxes.
Mm.
The other main one, student loans are going to stop the collection on
Oh,
them
wow.
during the bankruptcy. However, after the bankruptcy is over, in most cases, those are going to still be due. Um, so, but even that said, bankruptcy can still help you if you have those non-dischargeable debts by freeing up income that was being used by other debts. So the paying of those other debts, you stop doing that, it'll make it easier to pay for those non-dischargeable debts.
So, Jason, for someone sitting at home with a stack of collection letters, what's the main thing you want them to understand about how filing brings that peace of mind and that when that harassment really does come to an end?
So the most important thing to understand is that the harassment isn't something you have to live with forever. There is a legal way to make it stop, and it works. Once the case is filed, the pressure comes off. People can sleep again, answer their phones, and focus on their lives instead of constantly worrying about the next call or letter. That peace of mind alone is life changing for a lot of people. So just don't face this alone. Give me a call.
Awesome. Jason, appreciate you.
All right. Thank you, Evan.
That's it for today's episode of the Fresh Start Podcast. To learn more about attorney Jason Cline and how he can help you navigate bankruptcy with confidence, visit attorneyjasoncline.com. Thanks for listening. And remember to like, subscribe to the show, and share this episode with someone who might need it. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and leave us a review in the comments.